Good morning, one and all. My name is Srinivas Palapati. Today I am giving my presentation on Apache Hbase database. Coming to my next slide. These are my table of contents like logo, launch date, company background, history of Hbase, customer target market, industry focus, type of database model, accessibility, pricing, data storage, data access language, reporting features, usability, data visualization process, advantages and disadvantages. Coming to my next slide. First of all, what is Hbase? Hbase is an open source and sorted map data built on Hadoop. So it is mainly used for big data problems, like it stores large amount of data. It is like column oriented and horizontally scalable. Hbase provides a fault tolerant way of storing sparse data sets, which are common in big data problems. Unlike the relational database management systems, Hbase does not support a structured query language like SQL. Coming to my next slide. This is the logo of Apache Hbase. Coming to the launch date of Hbase, it was initially launched on 28th March in the year 2008. Coming to the company background of Hbase, like it is initially started as a project by the PowerSet company out of a need to process massive amounts of data for the purpose of natural language resource. Afterwards, it is developed as a Apache Software Foundation and it has run on top of HDFS. Later on, it became, since 2010, it became as a top level Apache products. Even like Facebook elected to implement the new messaging platform using Hbase, but later on it migrated from Hbase in the year 2018. Coming to the next slide, this is about history of Hbase. There is a lot of history of Hbase. If you observe it here, like every year, one event has occurred about Hbase. In the year 2006, in the month of November, Google released the paper on Bigtable. In the year 2007, in the month of February, the initial Hbase prototype was created as a Hadoop contribution. In the same year, in the month of October, the first usable Hbase along with Hadoop 0.15.0 was released. And in the year of 2008, in the month of January, Hbase became the sub-project of Hadoop. In the same year, in the month of October, Hbase released 0.18.1. And in the month of January, in the year 2009, Hbase released 0.19.0. In the year 2009, in the month of September, Hbase released 0.20.0. And in the May 2010, since then it became Apache top level project. This is all about history of Hbase. Okay. Coming to my next slide, customer target market. So coming to customer target market, like this Apache Hbase, like it has been used by like so many companies, like 14,236 companies are using Apache Hbase. Out of them, most of the companies are from United States, and these companies are generating more revenues by using this Hbase. For example, like it is generating 1 million to $10 million in revenue with the company size of 50 to 200 employees. Coming to my next slide, industry focus. If you observe in this slide, there are so many companies which are making more revenues with the company size like 200 to 500, 500 to 1,000, more than 1,000, 1,000 to 5,000. Like depends on the size of the company. These industries, these companies are making more profits by using this Hbase. Coming to my next slide, the type of database. The type of database. Hbase is a distributed type of database and that uses Zookeeper to manage clusters and HDFS as the underlying storage. Coming to my next slide, this is about database model. Hbase is an open source non-relational distributed database model after Google's Bigtable and written in Java. Coming to accessibility, the accessibility of Hbase, like when you install Apache Hbase as a part of Hadoop distribution, there are two components that must exist, like coexist with Apache Hadoop distributed file system, HDFS, as a file system, and also Apache Zookeeper for maintaining the stability of the application. When it comes to Hadoop distributed file system, like it is a storage, like it's a persistent data store. It will store the large amount of data that allows the state for the users and also for the applications who want to retrieve quickly. And coming to Apache Zookeeper, it's like a centralized service for maintaining the configuration information, naming, providing some distributed synchronization from group and providing some group services in Hadoop ecosystems. Coming to my next slide, it is about pricing. Apache Hbase is an open source software which are supported by like operating systems like Windows, Mac, Apple, etc. And the languages which are used by using Hbase are like C++, Java, Python, Ruby, etc. Yeah, coming to my next slide, it is about data storage. Like Hbase, like it's currently can use about 16 to 24 GB of memory for the heap, though that will change with the Java 7 and with the G1 GC algorithm. The initial testing with the G1 GC collector has shown very promising results with heaps over 100 GB of size. Coming to my next slide, it is about data access language. Like Hbase is a popular NoSQL database with high throughput and low latency. And it is possible to write NoSQL queries to get the results using APIs. In fact, it is modeled on the basis of Google's Bigtable. Yeah, coming to my next slide, it's about usability. Hbase provides fast lookups for large tables. Since Hbase is meant for storing the large amounts of data like big data, as I said before, Hbase internally uses hash tables and provides some random access and stores the data in indexed formats like step by step for faster lookups. And it will support structured as well as unstructured data. Coming to my next slide, this is about reporting features. Hbase is a distributed column-oriented database, and its schema defines like column families, which are collections or actual columns called column qualifiers. It stores the data in rows of column families. Like it acts like a 4-dimensional data and looks up exceptionally fast. It looks like a exceptionally fast when we want to retrieve the data. Like it is like, as we know, Hbase is an open source project and it's a horizontal scalable. When it comes to the next slide, it is about data visualization process. It is one of the important process. If you look at the slide, like if you want to see the visualization process, like first, we need to add Hbase data to an elastic cube. Once we add Hbase data to an elastic cube, we can connect. Once you are connected to Hbase, you can add tables and views to elastic cubes. From the tables list, you need to select some tables and views to which you want to work. Once you click the data you want to work with, you need to import some like SQL. And once it is done, you need to click done. Afterwards, you need to build the elastic view for analytics, and you need to visualize the Hbase data, and you need to navigate to analytics page of this Syntax application. And later on, you need to select a dashboard, and if you want to create a new one, you can create. And afterwards, you need to select your data source, and you need to create here. This is all about data visualization process. Yeah, coming to my next slide, these are all about advantages of Hbase. There are a lot of advantages by using Hbase, like these are useful for like a random and consistent reads and writes to access in high volume request. And Hbase is like a auto failover and read reliability when it is also more flexible and column based multidimensional map structure. And a variable schema, like columns can be added or removed dynamically. Whenever we want to add, we can add. Whenever we want to delete, we can delete. And we can do auto partitioning with Hbase, and also we can do sharing of data with the Hbase. And these are all advantages of Hbase. Coming to my next slide, these are all advantages of Hbase. With the help of by using Hbase, we cannot expect completely to use Hbase as a replacement for traditional models. Like some of the traditional models, futures cannot support Hbase. So Hbase cannot perform functions like SQL. So it doesn't support a SQL structure. So it does not contain any query optimizer. H, Hbase is a CPU and memory intensive with large sequential input or output access, while as MapReduce jobs are primarily input or output. Hbase is like an integrated with big and Hive jobs, results in some time memory issues on cluster. In a shared cluster environment, the setup requires fewer task slots per node to allocate for Hbase CPU programming. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.